So now let's learn how we could add a functionality which allows users to reset their passwords. So we have already added the functionality to change the password where you enter the old password and then you set a new password. But let's say for some reason if the user forgets their password, how exactly they could go ahead and reset their passwords from scratch by getting a password reset link in their email. So we are going to learn how to do that in this particular lecture. So just as we have some inbuilt views for changing passwords, we also have some views for resetting passwords as well. And we will be making use of those particular views, and using them we will implement this password reset functionality. So let's go to VS Code, and in here, first of all, let me close every window which we have right here. And right now we need to go to the urls.py file, and we need to go here because obviously as we will be using the built-in views, we need to make use of those built-in views here and associate them with specific paths. So in Django there are some by default paths which are automatically preset which you have to use. So for example, whenever you have to reset the password, you basically have to go ahead and you have to type in /password_reset. So let's decide the URL pattern for this. So the URL pattern for resetting the password would be nothing but that's going to be password_reset. And now once we have this particular path, the view which we will be using is going to be called as the password reset view. So just as we have used some of the views like the password change view, the password change done view, similar to this we have the password reset view. So let's use that. So here we need to use them or import them from the same auth view. So we have already imported this particular package and we have called this thing as auth view or authentication views. So here I would say auth view dot, that's going to be password reset view. So as you can see, the view pops up over here right away. So let's use this as view. And once we have this particular view, let's also name this particular URL as something. So let's say the name of this thing is going to be password_reset. Give a comma at the end and we should be good to go. So right now, whenever we go inside the URL patterns and whenever we type in this URL, which is password_reset, so make sure that you add a / here. So whenever we type in password reset, we should be able to get the password reset page. So let's see if that works out. So let's go back to the browser, users / password_reset. So as soon as I do that, as you can see now, it actually opens up the password reset view, but as this is a built-in view, it's going to display the page from Django administration for us. However, we don't want to use this. Instead, we want to create our very own template and we want to display our very own form here, and we don't want to use the Django admins by default form. So let's go ahead and let's create our very own form here. So let's go inside the templates and let's create a template called as password_reset_form.html. Okay, so once we have this form, the only thing that needs to be done is that we simply have to extend from the base template. We have to add the block body and block, and we simply have to render the basic form which we already actually have up over here. So in order to do that, doing that is quite simple, and one shortcut which you could implement is that you could actually go to some of the views which you already have created. So for example, the password change_form which we have created here, you could simply copy the code from here, paste it up over here because that's one and the same thing. So once you do that, now let's actually go ahead and pass in this particular password reset form to this particular URL which we have just created. So here I would pass in the template name as nothing but I would refer to the users app and then password_reset_form.html. Let's go back, hit refresh, and as you can see now we have our very own form right up over here, and we simply have to add the email of the user where we want to reset the password. So technically what should happen is that whenever we submit the email and click on submit, that particular password reset link should be sent to email, because this is what happens whenever you try to reset passwords on any of your websites. However, as we are not working with a real website, instead what we are going to do is that we are going to get the password reset link in the terminal itself. So we are going to learn how we could configure that in the next lecture. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.